in the last 5 seasons, Derek Carr has produced a tight end that has finished top 7 per game in PPR every year. Jared Cook once, Darren Waller 4 times. So what do you think overall, Jamie? I mean, I don't think we're starting with Juwan Johnson or anything, but overall, Carr going to the Saints.
I mean, it certainly makes Juwan Johnson or Adam Troutman, who we've been kind of waiting for the last couple of years, more interesting to see what happens there, because you look at this receiving core and it's Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, and okay, what's left? So there's going to be a very interesting draft process for them now that Carr is what you would consider the short-term solution. I don't think he's the long-term solution at his age and this point in his career. So do they consider still drafting a quarterback? And I think Adam Schefter tweeted the last first-round quarterback that they drafted was Archie Manning. So that tells you how long it's been since they went and got a quarterback in round 1. So, I think it's going to be very interesting to see. So, I think they're picking 29th, if I'm not mistaken. And that would be...
No, they have a pick? I don't think they have a pick.
I thought I saw 29. I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken,
I thought
they traded their pick to the Eagles. Did they get a different one?
Let's see.
I'm looking at something that says they do not. Yeah, they don't have one.
Unless they could take one in the second round.
They could,
but I think
they do have one.
Oh wow,
they have 29.
You're the 49ers. All right, I was looking at something outdated. Sorry about that.
So I'll take my apology later. At 29, that's the receiver spot. So that I think is something that they should explore. They could also look to add a tight end in the draft. It's a very good tight end class. So adding some weapons there, I think, is a big priority.
How did they get the Niners' first round pick? Don't remember that.
They traded someone to them.
I don't remember that at all.
I'm going to think of the defensive player.
They didn't have McCaffrey. Okay. Anyway, Heath, what do you think about Olave? Is this good for Olave, or were you hoping it'd be someone else?
I think it's probably as good as it was going to be for Olave. I don't think there's. I wrote the quarterback free agent preview today, and it's not a bunch of guys that you're super excited about, unless one of these guys who's under contract ends up getting traded. Or I don't think Aaron Rodgers was ever considering them. Andy Dalton, from an efficiency basis last year, was pretty good. I've said, and you've been mad at me for saying that I don't think there's that big a difference between Andy Dalton and Derek Carr. So I just, what's that?
That's crazy.
I know, but statistically, they've been basically the same guy.
Oh, come on. This career? Look, Carr had a really bad year last year, so there's that.
Yes, throughout their career. I think Carr is a mid-range QB2. The really interesting thing is they've only had a 49% pass rate the last 3 seasons. And in Dennis Allen's first season as a head coach, they threw like 504 passes, 512 passes. Carr doesn't run, so he needs the big pass numbers to have a chance to be even a top 12 quarterback. I don't think he's probably going to get those, and Taysom Hill is going to come onto the field for however many snaps as well.
Yeah, so Carr has basically been QB 18-ish so many times in his career, right around there. Is that more or less where you guys will rank him?
Probably slightly behind.
Yeah.
Depending on any of the rookies that get a starting job or the chance to start at some point during the season. Carr's just not a league winner, as he said. He just had arguably, certainly since the height of maybe Cooper Crabtree, his best receiving core. Now, granted, Darren Waller missed time and Hunter Renfrow missed time, but still, like, to not take advantage of that with that group and be better, so he's never been a consistent 4,000 plus yard guy. He's not going to be a 35 plus touchdown guy. And as we've talked about a lot with the situation in New Orleans, what made them somewhat successful last year was be ultra conservative, lean on your defense, and try and win these low scoring games. And so it's the same group that's there from a coaching standpoint. So obviously I do think at this point in their careers, yes, maybe the majority of the career, Andy Dalton and Derek Carr similar. I think Carr's better than Dalton now. And so, there's clearly a little bit more trust there. Obviously, Dennis Allen coached him previously as well. So they probably have a little bit better sense of, leaning on their offense maybe. But to expect Derek Carr to be good, really, this is just about the weapons there in New Orleans. If Alvin Kamara's not suspended for a significant amount of time, I think this will help him. If They add a tight end that will probably help. I don't think you're getting two consistent producers from a pass catching standpoint and factoring in Kamara. So Chris Olave, as we've seen even last year, Devontae Adams still put up pretty good numbers with Derek Carr. So I think Olave will be fine. I just don't know if this maximizes his talent.
I'll give you one good thing and one bad thing, I guess, for Chris Olave. Good thing would be that Derek Carr led the NFL, I believe, in passing touchdowns of 25 or more yards. Almost all of them went to Devontae Adams. But he did show that ability to chuck the ball deep and produce big plays. He led 13 touchdown passes with 25 or more yards. 9 of them went to Devontae Adams. But you guys have kind of been talking about the Saints' philosophy. How about this? From week 10 on, they went 4-4. But the Saints ran the fewest plays in the NFL. They scored the second fewest points in the NFL ahead of only the Jets. And they were 26th in pass rate. Their defense was arguably the best in the NFL. They allowed the fewest yards per play in football from week 10 on. It turned into a defensive juggernaut that just did not throw the ball and played very slow, I guess, and didn't run a lot of plays. I don't know if that carries over, Heath, but I wonder how that factors into your projections.
Yeah, I don't project them to be near as slow as they were last year. I definitely think they'll regress towards the mean a little bit, but I do think they're probably a below average offense, and I think they're going to be run heavy, and so I won't project them to be above average by any stretch of the imagination in terms of play numbers.
All right, sorry, Jamie, give me a round.
Look at it. I mean, they have arguably the best team in the division right now.
Yep.
With what all these other 3 teams are looking at. Now, granted, Tampa Bay's a quarterback away. I don't know who that is, but from probably being better than them. Carolina's roster build is somewhat similar. Very good young defense, that could take a step forward, but offensively still a little challenged. You hope Frank Reich can correct that. And Atlanta's, sort of kind of in the same similar situation. But from a quarterback standpoint, you got to feel the best about them today. And so we'll see what happens, moving forward. So I don't anticipate them going at it and say, okay, we have to outscore this team in our division to win it. We don't have to do this to, be better than them. On paper right now, they're just as good, if not the best team in the NFC South.
Give me a round for Olave, guys. Sorry, round for Olave.
3
or 4, yeah. And just to poke you one more time, Adam.
Oh, please.
Pro Football Reference does keep track of a statistic called on-target throw percentage.
Yeah.
Your guy, Daniel Jones, was number 1 in the NFL last year, followed by Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Geno Smith, and Andy Dalton at number 5. Derek Carr ranked 27th.
Carr had his most inaccurate year last year, in a while anyway. Remember, his brother said that Josh McDaniels didn't let him change plays at the line of scrimmage. So you wonder how much that affected him, because statistically it was a really bad year for Derek Carr.